Hello everyone, I am Lumkacam Mohamwana, the host of this spot. Welcome. As you already know by this time, we are doing the whole Bible experience. It's not a challenge, it's an experience. And I have come actually now to start. I am excited, I'm ecstatic to see what it is that God wants to do in our lives during this period. We will start with Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, and I will share. It begins like this. The creation. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now, the earth was formless and empty. Darkness covered the surface of the watery depths, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the surface of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw that the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. There was an evening, and there was a morning, one day. Then God said, "Let there be an expanse between the waters, separating water from water." So God made the expanse and separated the water under the expanse from the water above the expanse. And it was so. God called the expanse sky. Evening came, and then morning, second day. Then God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered into one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. God called the dry land earth, and the gathering of the water he called seas. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the earth produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants, and fruit trees on the earth bearing fruit with seed in it according to their kinds." And it was so. The earth produced vegetation, seed-bearing plants according to their kinds, and trees bearing fruit with seed in it according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. Evening came, and then morning, the third day. I just want to pause here and make an exclamation. What God has already created, he doesn't go back and say, "Okay, put it back again the way that I did it yesterday, and then let's add on to that." He speaks once, and it is so, and it remains so. Until he says something else, nothing is added and nothing is subtracted. That's God. Then God said, "Let there be lights in the expanse of the sky to separate the day from the light. They will serve as signs for seasons and for days and years. There will be lights in the expanse of the sky to provide light on the earth." And it was so. God made the two great lights, the greater light to rule over the day, and the lesser light to rule over the night, as well as the stars. God placed them in the expanse of the sky to provide light on the earth, to rule this day and the night, and to separate light from darkness. And God saw that it was good. Evening came, and then morning, the fourth day. Let me make another exclamation. God does not stop creating. He doesn't stop in his tracks until he sees that it is good. Then God said, "Let the water swarm with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the expanse of the sky." So God created the large sea creatures and every living creature that moves and swarms in the water, according to their kinds. Another exclamation. God doesn't create something and it is not according to its own kind. He doesn't create a misfit. He creates a thing that fits exactly where he had created it for. So he doesn't create a misfit. He creates it according to its kind, and it bears according to its kind. He also created every winged creature according to its kind, and God saw that it was good. God blessed them. Be fruitful, multiply, and fill the waters of the seas, and let the birds multiply on the earth. Evening came, and then morning, the 5th day. On the 4th day, the creatures were blessed and commanded to fill the earth and to multiply. Then God said, let the earth produce living creatures according to their kinds, livestock, creatures that crawl, and the wildlife of the earth according to their kinds. And it was so. So God made the wildlife of the earth according to their kinds, the livestock according to their kinds, and all the creatures that crawl on the ground according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, let us make men in our image, according to our likeness. They will rule the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, the livestock, the whole earth, and the creatures that crawl on the earth. So God created man in his own image. He created him in the image of God. He created them, male and female. God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. Rule the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, and every creature that crawls on the earth. God also said, look, I have given you every seed-bearing plant on the surface of the entire earth, and every tree whose fruit contains seed. This will be food for you, for all the wildlife of the earth, for every bird of the sky, and every creature that crawls on the earth, everything having the breath of life in it. I have given every green plant for food. And it was so. God saw all that he had made, and it was very good indeed. Evening came, and then morning, the 6th day. 2 exclamations real quick. God made man in his image. Earlier on, I made an exclamation saying that he created something once. He spoke once, and after he had spoken, that thing was as he had spoken it. Now us, when he created us in his own image, with his breath, with the breath of life, with his breath. He breathed into us, and we had the breath of life. Now with his breath, when we speak, we create. And we don't have to go back to what we had said. I contemplate and I think about many times when I pray, and I go over the same thing over and over and over again. And when I read this one time, I was like, that blesses me so much. It blesses me that God, with his breath that is in me, he said one thing, and he created one thing once, and it stayed stationed in that place. No addition, no subtraction, until if he were to say otherwise, then only then there would to be something otherwise happening. Otherwise, he created something once, he said something once, and it was created, and it stayed there where he had directed it to stay. That blesses me so much, that in our prayer times, we don't have to go over and over and over again the things that we want to see happening in our lives. We say it once, and we have created that thing. Even in not praying, even when we speak, we create with our words. And after having created with our words, that thing becomes that thing which we have created with our words. And it stays like that until we say otherwise, or until God says otherwise. Remember, we're not God until God says otherwise. And so, with the breath of life inside of us, let us create good. Let us create as God commands us to create. 1. 2. On the 6th day, God made man. God provided for man. God commanded man and gave man purpose. All these things happened on the 6th day. It cannot be that the number 6 represents what popular culture says the number 6 represents, which is evil. Everything of evil, or whatever the evil world says it represents. God provided for me on that day. God commanded me on that day. He gave me purpose on that day. He created me on that day. So it cannot be that on the day that I was created, it is associated with evil. It's not evil. It's time that we take back the authority over God's over God's creation, our authority over God's creation, and the way in which God created it, so that we are not moving around one aimlessly and thinking or applying things of the world into our lives. Then, only then, will we feel like misfits, because we apply the things of the world in our own lives when there's absolutely no need, and the map of our lives is in the Bible. That's all I wanted to share with you today. Have a good evening. I love you.